What's up, Relay friends? We are back for another week of kumbaya, peace in the running world, no controversy. Things are simple. Lindsay and Erica, thanks for joining. As I said to someone, there isn't one running community. Stop acting like we're all going to get along. We are a very popular sport, and there's a lot of people in the world. I was thinking of trying to trademark a phrase like jerks be jerkin, because sometimes like people are jerks, and like it doesn't mean that all runners are one way. They're like, what is this?
Though.
Yeah, Erica's
because like I don't know if you could come up with a worse example.
She doesn't like you saying that just
Jerks
as much
be
as
jerkin'.
you guys
No, just
don't like
like I'm
me saying
picturing
the word
that on like a
yes.
hat or a t-shirt, and it just like
No, it's true.
makes me want to vomit.
I rushed to the gym this morning to get a swim in because there was a yoga class right at 10:15. I was like, I'm getting my swim in before yoga. And all I can tell you is, you runners, y'all need to get to your local yoga studio because you need to zen the F out. It is like out of control in these streets.
Well, I mean, because it's on a sliding scale of how much I'm even willing to mention a controversy to my wife because of how hard she's gonna roll her eyes and like potentially hurt herself. Like, what are you talking about? So there's any number of things to discuss. There's Atlanta from last week, which we could have recorded continuously throughout the week. There were updates,
daily updates.
I feel like LA Marathon in a good way is gaining popularity, spectacle, participation. In maybe a bad way is so many storylines where you're like, whoa, there's a lot going on in a big city like this. And then there's the New York City Marathon, where if you got in on the lottery, the New York City Marathon, please comment that you're on this podcast. You're one of the luckiest ones in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Also, you should play the actual lottery right now because
yeah,
odds of getting in that hot ticket crazy.
Erica, I am open to the phrase that will stand in for my bad phrase, but I think sometimes people are jerks, both online and
he wants you to rephrase
in the running
that
world.
for him.
Yeah. Sometimes they're not kind, and I'm like, I'll tell you the best interaction that happened. A guy I know, he'll remain nameless, posted about on probably Friday into Saturday. His story was lasting about the LA Marathon offering medals to the people who chose to finish at 18 miles, which to their like the race's almost prescient benefit. The course goes out and back from 18 to 26. So you're like, not many races can you logistically stop people at 18.
Right.
He was being like, this is soft, this is lame. And I was like, hey man, I'm not seeing how they choose to run their race affects your race at all. And he was like, that's a good point. Thanks. I was like,
yeah. I love it when people respond that way. They're like, oh yeah, I was kind of being an asshole. Thanks for calling me out there.
He and I have run together. So we're like, it's more than just internet randomness.
You're friends. Yeah.
No, when I first saw that headline, that was like LA Marathon offering like participation or like finishers medals if you get to mile 18 and make the choice to like step off. I was like, great idea. Like, there's so many people who either it's their first marathon, they just haven't trained enough, or for a lot of people when it's freakishly hot, they haven't trained in those conditions. And like, if you're not accustomed to like pushing your body that hard, you don't really know where your like red line is. Like, you might feel really bad and just assume like you're feeling really bad and now it's a medical emergency. So like, anything they can do to kind of like soften that blow to your ego and like help people make like well, just like help them make the safe choice. It's like, we don't need you having a heart attack or like needing an IV drip. Like, it's okay to step off and like you survived and like lived to run another day. Like, it's just like, it's not that serious. And like you said, it doesn't impact anybody else.
What if this person finishes at 18 and gets a medal? What if they then display it in some manner and then they tell whoever is around to listen that they ran 26 miles, not 18 miles? Who is even present for that story?
Quite literally, like, no one cares.
I'm like, it sounds like an abstract argument that when you play it out doesn't matter at all. If you're, I mean, I texted Tommy Runs, our buddy, and was like, you got to finish at 18. Like, whenever it's like the unique opportunity to have a running experience that
Did
will
he?
live in infamy.
No, but
he ran
honestly,
18.
hell yeah. Like, take
Yeah,
that medal
like,
and then tell everyone you ran 18 and call it a marathon. Because
Yeah.
You're
also,
like, "Booyah."
historically, a marathon was not always 26.2. So, like,
Ooh,
nothing means anything
yes.
anymore.
He's the right person, though, to finish at 18 because it's like, this isn't your first marathon. You've done a million of these. Like, just stop if you want to stop kind of situation. I understand if it's your first marathon being like, I want to finish this dang thing because I trained for
Yeah.
it and I want the marathon to my name. So if it was my first and I stopped at 18, I would probably try to find one like 3 weeks later just to keep it,
Yeah, but where it's not
so that my
85
training,
degrees.
yeah, so that my
Yeah, but the
training, like,
important part was you, like, lived
right.
to try again
Totally.
in 3 weeks.
Yes, exactly.
Wait, can I have a side quest here? I went trail running this weekend and I caught myself at one point being like, goal number 1, don't die. Okay. Like, I know
Okay.
It
I'm
should
like
be
trying to
on
get a
the
little
list of
faster
things to
going
do.
down. Yeah, sometimes it
Like,
becomes the silent to-do list and you're like, no, need to move that very front and center. And these
yeah.
people, we were running into that years ago when a lot of, like, one of the, maybe the second running boom, when a lot of people were getting into marathoning, they were inadvertently or mistakenly drinking full cups of water at every station and then having hypernatremia. Like,
Mhm.
you really can throw off your blood chemistry if
Oh,
you just,
yeah.
because they were drinking
Too much
beyond.
water, not enough electrolytes,
They were
probably.
like, what I know is I can't trust my intuition. I need to just like override it and take in tons of fluid. And then people were having, it can really throw off your heart electricity if it gets too
Yeah.
bad. Like, it's really dangerous.
Spooky.
Hey, friends, don't die. This is a fun sport. Let's stick
Yeah.
around for it.
I mean,
So then,
gosh, it's hard though, man. It happens, even if in like just the most random circumstances. Standing at
Mhm.
the finish line announcing races, like, oh my gosh, you see things that you're like, what? That person was 40 years old and they've run 20 marathons. Why did this happen? Sometimes just freak things happen, It's
this
sad.
guy was like, he messaged, he DM'd me, and was like, man, 18 miles of a marathon? Like, that's just like eating the good part of a piece of cake or something. He's like, it's just like not having to stick around for this part I don't even actually
I mean, that's
enjoy.
so true. 18 miles is a
That's an
great
incredible
distance.
way to look at it because he's so right.
Like, woo. Like, that was just a
Um,
wonderful little morning run. There we go. Yeah.
but wait a
So
minute. LA Marathon, the woman who won is 45 years old and she has 3 kids. And I'm just like, that's amazing. Looks
she's a
like
good
she
runner.
just ran the Marathon Project and I went to her Wikipedia page and the last like updates before this were like from 2011. She ran in the 2008 Beijing Olympics. She ran in the World Championships in 2011. Allison
Is she
Wade
a
said she
Toronto?
retired during COVID, but I didn't even see anything kind of like between 2011 and, 2020. So anyway, I'm just like, that's incredible.
That's super
No
cool.
longer
I
are we
mean,
talking about how cool it is that women in their late 30s are kicking butt in the marathon. We're talking about women in their mid to late 40s kicking butt.
No, you love to see it because it also like helps people stop acting like the world's ending after 25.
Yeah.
It's like
oh yeah.
you still got 20 years left if you do it right.
20.
Like it's okay.
20. And then
Man, oh
we give
man.
a shout out to our friend Kellen Taylor, 227. I actually emailed her this morning. I was like, I think that it would be fun to have her back on my podcast, if she wants to. Like, I don't know, like, if that's her vibe right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, does she even want to do that kind of stuff? Is she's kind of like, I don't want to deal with running media. I'm moving on to this other phase in my career. I'm still running
Literally
really fast.
firefighting.
Yeah.
Well, and she's also just like a straight shooter. Like, I think if she's not interested, she'll just be like, no thanks, kind of thing.
Oh man, wouldn't it be great if you should do like a 11-minute podcast with Kellen Taylor? She's like,
Oh my
cool.
gosh.
We've checked this box. That was
What an
great. Thanks so
idea.
much.
No, that's perfect. Hey, I know you're really
She's like,
busy. You have like
why'd you
3
book an hour,
careers.
by the way? We have
Yeah.
nothing that yeah.
You have 3 careers. You have a million kids. Let's just do a 10-minute conversation and check all the boxes. I love it. So good. But 227, I mean, she improved from what she ran in Houston. I don't know what her goals were, but that's a
Wasn't
fast
that long
time on
ago.
a hot day, So, is LA hilly?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
That's
hot
why
and
It's
when
like-
hilly.
Matthew Rickman, is that how you
Yeah.
say it? Yeah, last
Oh,
year
yeah.
when he
Yeah,
won,
I think
I was so much more shook that he ran 207 on that course
bonkers.
than the fact that he ran 207.
Okay,
It's like
yeah, I
over
remember that
1,000
now.
feet of gain.
It's
Okay.
nuts. And there's no
Wow.
it's easy for people to slip into the very analytical, like it's this percent of grade. And I'm like, yeah, but if it's a hilly course like that, it's easy to just settle into running slower because you're like, well,
Yeah.
this is like a fast time is off. But he was trying to win and he did win. And he set up what's a now back-to-back American men winning LA Marathon. How do we
Wait,
even begin to tell this story?
I know. I mean, I feel like this is Erica. You sent the video. You tell the story.
Oh, well, the
like,
video I sent was not of the finish. The video I sent was of like, I don't know, however many hundreds of meters before the finish. But after, the US half championships women's race was thrown into chaos by a lead vehicle making a wrong turn. This one was a different case, but still unfortunate. The lead guy at the LA Marathon, the road split and was split by cones, and the vehicle pulled off as it was supposed to because you don't send your escort through the brake tape at the finish line. But the lead man started to follow the lead vehicle off course. But thankfully, there was a race official standing right at that place where the cones were who immediately told him to like turn around. The guy probably lost like 2 to 4 seconds. It was like very, very quick of like a mistake because like thankfully there was a race official right there where the lead vehicle pulled off. But the guy
Yeah.
lost by like 0.1 second to Nathan Martin and collapsed at the finish. So you're like, did those 2 to 4 seconds, like, I mean, he lost by less than a second. So like, does it matter in the grand scheme? Like, kind of.
I was just thinking, like, what kind of adrenaline surge did he have after he got back on track? Did he know how
I mean, you
fast
lose your
Nathan was
momentum, you
coming
do
in?
a 180. And like, he looked back like once in that final
did he?
stretch when like Nathan was like really closing on him. So you're like, if he could have kicked a little harder, he probably would. But like, Nathan was also running out of space. So
Right.
like,
Yeah.
would Nathan have got him if he didn't lose momentum and those like 3 seconds with like his little
Both,
mishap?
yeah.
We will never know.
You'll never know.
If I was Nathan, it would give me a burst of
Yeah.
confidence because you're like,
You're like,
oh,
this
he
is
messed up.
possible.
Yeah. Well, because like it's
Yeah.
a huge momentum shift. That guy literally had to come to a full stop, backtrack a couple steps,
Oh.
get back on course, get back up to pace. Meanwhile, Nathan has him in his sights and is like closing hard. Like if you see that and you are hunting, you're like, this is mine. He almost ran out of
I
space.
wonder what that
but he did
conversation
it.
was. Like, do we know I wonder what their conversation was after the race? Like,
Whose conversation?
oh, sorry, man. The
Oh.
1 and 2. Like,
Did they even
feel
talk
like
to each other? The guy like was on the ground for so long.
I
I
know.
never
I
saw
don't know.
him get up and talk to them.
Michael Kamau like smashes into the ground and you're like, oh my.
Yeah,
mean,
Lindsay,
I
I don't
feel
think
like
there
if
was a
I'm
combo.
Nathan- I feel like if I'm Nathan, I would have been like so ecstatic, but also been like, and I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, but realistically, if he would have gone over and apologized to that guy, it would have been insulting. I would have
Okay.
taken it as like
Oh, yeah. You just
disrespectful.
gotta
If I made a
shake his
mistake
hand.
and the person who beat me was like,
Okay.
"Hey, sorry you messed up," I'd be like, blacklisted. Don't ever talk to me again. Don't look at me. Like, I know I messed up. I am having the worst day of my life right now. I don't need you to like give me sympathy in this
Oh.
moment.
But like, would you prefer them not to say anything?
If I was
Depends
like,
on if you know them.
face down on the ground, no. Like,
Yeah.
let me collect myself.
Have your
but, like,
moment.
if it
What
was
about
like
an email
my
later?
friend,
What about like
Lindsay. No.
An email later. Lindsay, you're so kind.
You were
I
like,
also think certain
getting more and more like infuriating. Like, are you trying to stir the pot
Yeah.
of like negative emotions?
I just like to wrap things up and feel
It's like a
it's
get well soon card. I'd be livid.
Yeah. Oh my
That's
lord.
so
wait,
funny.
okay, I need more takes from you. Tell me your thoughts on like he was just so I'm finishing a marathon. The car the vehicle went off, like I just out of it, like to not think to go. Like, what do you
He
think
did
the
not
thought
look
process?
like he was running as strong as he must have been. I didn't get to watch the whole race, but like he must have been running quite strong. He definitely was showing signs of a marathoner, like starting to really.
I mean, he was like
slow.
fading towards the finish, and like Nathan was closing
Yeah.
hard, but like he was running down the middle of the road, which, like, if he had just been, like, running a little more to the left where it branched, I don't think it would have been an issue. But, like, some people run directly behind the lead car, which is also how the sidebar, we'll get to it later, but the old should have been men's half world record was not ratified because he ran too close to the lead car to sit in that draft. But this guy was also directly behind the lead car and just following its path instead of like paying attention to the course. And he's lucky that the LA Marathon officials were watching it like a hawk.
Right. Because it could have been a lot worse. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're also
where nuance
they do
is.
tell you in like the tech meetings like where the car will leave. So like that is something you should remember. But at the same time, like you're in your final 800 meters and like brain is foggy, body is on autopilot.
Right.
It's like, it's an easy mistake to make, but also like you should be a little wary of it and like looking up, but it didn't look like he was really like looking down the course.
I wish that official, if I were to design it, I think he would have that official sort of step, just, let the car go by sort of like a ballet.
Well, the guy was so close to the car. I think that's why there was like, why it even happened. Because like if the official would have been any more in the road, he would have got run over by the car because he was standing right at the cones.
Okay.
And the guy just like was so close to the car he didn't notice. But like
but in that case, should the car have been going faster? Because like he's not going to slow down to not be so close to the car. Do you know what I mean?
There's a lot of people that are like
there's a lot of people. You don't
want to. Like
that's
you
tough.
don't want to. And like
remember,
he has, like,
rule number 1 is don't die.
Don't die.
Like stay alive.
He could not have gone a lot faster, but also like they have press, they have the timing clock. There's a lot of reasons like they're driving so close to those runners. But Nathan didn't make that mistake.
If that hadn't happened, we might not have gotten what I hope is a video that will live in the pantheon of like, I can see this video of Nathan nipping him at the line being in a supercut done by bros of like, never give up, every last stride.
I mean, one of the Barstool guys I don't love has made a video about it. And like, because he's a big Barstool guy, it has done some numbers.
Oh, gosh.
It is a funny thing where I made a video that has gotten, spliced it with some motivational music and crescendo. And then you see like someone else do it and they do it even better. And you're like, man, you did a good job.
I would have just put another hour into making that video. Could have made it a little
Sorry,
bit
son,
better.
I can't go play. I need to serve the internet more hot.
I can't with the internet. I'm like, some of these videos, if you do them right, they're going to take you hours. But then sometimes you post up a video and it's like 8 seconds and it does really well. So you just never know. You never know what's going to take.
Well, speaking of internet algorithms, there was a woman who didn't get into the New York City Marathon.
Oh boy.
There are a lot of doors to these races. Everyone should know that there are many different ways of getting entered into the New York City Marathon. If you're Erica, you just call them up and they say, we'll save you a spot.
And we'll give you money for coming.
Oh, wait a second. Yeah. I
was
should
like,
go to
Peter,
that door and knock
this is a
on it.
reason you're not my agent. You just said I would come for free.
You can hire me,
man.
Erica.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Fire me.
Peter.
I'll pitch really high numbers for you. Okay.
For the record, I, in 2020, emailed Sam and asked to come to New York, and he politely declined my request. So I feel like I offered to come for free, and I was turned down. That race never happened, so joke's on him.
What did he tell you? Like, what did you have? Like, what time did you submit, and what time would you have had to have run for him to accept you into the field?
I mean, this is how New York works. It's so competitive to get in. I had run 2:19 at the time. I didn't make the trials. I really wanted to be I wanted something on the horizon to look forward to. And so I was like, how about New York? And at the time, there's this other door, which is it's based on time. It's like, I forget the name they have for it. Like, it's a performance-based, non-New York City-based door to go to. And I was like, what if I just try to... So Sam was like, well, actually, I know that you're sort of one of the first people to ask me to get into New York through that door, but I'm sure there will be a lot of people coming out of the trials who will want to, once they gather their wits about them in March, they'll
Yeah.
probably want to run New York. So we're gonna pump our brakes on that, and then the whole world paused after that. But I have gotten into New York by being X% faster than a certain standard for people who are not in New York who didn't qualify at an NYRR race, because there's 9+1 entrance, there's
Yep.
charity entrance, there's then a huge lottery that had a 1% acceptance rate.
And then
And
there's people that are running influencers who just get to run all the marathons.
have you thought about dressing in all pink and knocking on that door? That's
Yeah.
a different door.
I think people are getting sick of that, by the way, though. Carry on.
Yeah, someone was mentioning it's like a waning happiness about that. But there should be something on your phone that's like, your heart rate seems a little elevated. You seem a little bit antagonistic. Maybe don't post on Threads right now. Because a woman posted that she had run 2:57, and then I think in not the most generous spirit, she said, I work harder than all of the charity runners, and none of them put in the work that I put in, and they shouldn't be
Ooh.
allowed into this race. And you think, see, I feel like it's a sign of my evolved humanity from where I was that I saw that, and I was like, huh, that's not a very open-minded take, but like scrolling along.
I mean, I
Other
just
people
want
did
to.
not feel as kindly about other people
Okay.
paused,
Wait, okay. I have so
replied,
many thoughts. First, my
yeah.
first thought
And then
is
where does it go from here?
I coach a woman who runs 6-hour marathons, 5:30 marathons. You telling me you work harder than her? Really? Because I got a lot to tell you about this woman who is a doctor and doesn't run very fast, but has a very full life, a very full plate. When she
Yeah.
does inpatient weeks, like getting these workouts in, it's tough. And when she's out on these courses and you've been done for 3 hours, tell me that she doesn't work as hard as you. I mean, that just, oh, it makes me mad. But anyway, my other thought is this is why I'm telling the runners they need to go to yoga. Calm the
Yes.
F down. This woman had a bad take. It was dumb. And like, get a grip. I think, like, okay, tell her, like, I don't agree with you. This is a silly take and move on. Like, the way that people are coming at her is just like absolutely insane. And
Sorry, the
like,
context was that so many people came after her that she deleted both of her accounts, her Threads, her Instagram, and then
I mean,
apparently some people tried to contact her employer as though she was like a pariah that needed to be canceled outright. I don't
get
know.
a
There's some
grip,
really bad takes on
people.
the internet. This I thought like this one was like, not
You know
very
what it
kind.
reminds me? It just like it's like people just keep piling on, piling on. And I'm like, you guys, this is a human being who said something dumb. Like, like, what are you doing here? I feel like to me, it feels like high school. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like a bunch of bully girls in high school. And it's my least favorite thing about the running community, I think, when we
You
pile
can't.
up like that.
Okay, you're irking me by calling it the running community, because I would argue there's so many of us who move through space with our feet propelling us off the ground that calling it one big community is a little bit. I actually think the
So this is a
algorithmness,
subset of the community is what you're saying. The bullies.
like, I guess so. Again, we're going to workshop a phrase about people being unkind. I mean, I see it the most frequently, or it's closest to me when people who are like sub-elite runners make types of comments like that. And then a lot of the running world will extrapolate and be like, see, all these faster runners are all jerks. And you're like, oh, that person is just, he's an asshole. But yeah, I don't know if all of us are like that. Anyways, I don't know if that woman needed to be, her life needed to be torn apart, but you know.
It did not. I'll tell you that. Erica, what are your thoughts?
I mean, yeah. It was a bad take, but also it just like it felt kind of like I'm not calling her immature as like a person, but like it's immature as an athlete to like ever
Sure.
assume
Yeah.
that you are working harder than someone else. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people wake up every day and give it their all and are working as hard as they possibly can. So it is immature to then be like, well, I'm working harder than them. It's like, one, you don't know them. Two, everyone's doing the best. So like that's just like a bad take off the rip. And then also like the entitlement of I worked hard, so I'm owed this. If there's anything you know in running, it's you're owed nothing. You can pour
Yes.
your heart and soul into hundreds or thousands of miles and do all the workouts and get the fancy shoes and get the fancy gels and your broccoli sprouts and bicarb, and then you can show up and like maybe you don't get a spot on the starting line. Maybe you have a terrible race. Like you are owed absolutely nothing, which is why all of your favorite runners are always preaching about finding joy, finding
Mm.
balance. The journey is the focus because like there is no guaranteed outcome. And that's just like how the cookie crumbles.
Is she comparing her training right now when she ran her 257 or whatever she ran, 252, I don't know what it was, um, to like a previous self when she was running like 345 marathons, and she knows how much harder she worked for
Oh,
that 257. You know what I mean? So like in her head, is she computing like, oh, well, I know what it's like to do this. So, and this is way harder. And it's like, well, every single experience is relative because every single human is different and unique and comes to the table with a different ability level and skill set and life circumstances. So, um, the only thing I can think is she's thinking about maybe past her running, and like maybe she didn't used to put what she puts into it now and she knows how hard she works. But like,
Yeah. I also feel like or I'm not going to speak for her, but it did feel like somehow they had never witnessed the fallout every time the Boston qualifying emails go out. And it's like,
yeah,
yeah.
hey, like,
sure.
there's a hard cap on 31,000 people. So, like, I don't care if you ran under the standard. It's never actually the standard. We all know that. There's like, because of the cap on the field size, like, it has to go in descending order, which, like, I don't think it's a hot take that that's the fairest possible way to do it when you're qualifying on a standard. You just go down the list. But every year there's like
Yeah.
thousands of people who are like, but I ran the standard. And it's like, okay, but a lot of people ran the standard in like the most objective way we can do this is to go down the list. And like, if you didn't make the list, even though you ran quote unquote fast enough, like it does hurt. But like, what else are you supposed to do? Like, everyone wants to do this thing. It's just like, I don't think it
It's
deserves that
brutal
kind of
too.
reaction.
I like your point about immaturity because it can also
It's
speak
a
to
great
lack of
point.
experience about
Right.
if
Like, I
she
feel
I
like
was
this
just looking up
must
the
be your
time
first or second
qualifiers.
time running,
Yeah,
like, a sub-elite standard and feeling like you're getting a guaranteed entry spot, and then you're like,
Right.
"What? Like, I don't just, like the door's not opening, where's the red carpet?" And it's like, there's a lot going on, there's a lot of people that are fast, like, there's a lot of reasons you weren't guaranteed that spot, and, like, I'm sorry, but also,
And
like,
yeah.
it is what it is.
yeah. If I had met her at a cocktail party, I'd be like, "Hey, what did you run?" And I would pull up, like I just did, the time qualifiers, and I'd be like, "My vague memory is that you might need to be a little faster. It sounds insane. I know you're sub 3 at" I don't know her age, but, like, the women's time for non-New York is 18 to 34, you have to be under 3:13, 35 to 39, 3:15. But these are really just, like, random
But that's the time,
times.
and you
That's
still
like
are
the
entered
bare
into a
minimum
lottery?
to
No,
apply
no,
for
then
those
it's a descending
spots.
order list. It's
Yeah.
Okay.
actually those times are kinda made up because it's just who are the fastest. So the standard matters because it's how many minutes you're below that. What
Mhm.
I'll say is there has been a lot of anger about that system in the past, but it's usually hidden off on, like, Reddit boards where people are just pissed, but they're just pissed about, like, they wanted to get in New York and they ran a fast what they felt like was a fast marathon, and then they're disappointed to learn that they didn't get in. And you're like, "Yeah, I understand your disappointment," and I'm glad for some of those Reddit users, they kept their hot takes, like, cordoned off in a subreddit somewhere, not I guess
Yeah. I
Threads
mean,
was the
like, it
wrong place
does
to
like,
put
it
that
sucks when,
anger.
like, it feels like the goalpost is, like, moving in real
Yeah.
time, and a marathon is not one of
Totally.
those things where you can, like, just run it back 2 weeks before final emails go out to, like, improve your standing, so, like, that does suck, and we can all empathize
It
with that,
stings.
but it doesn't mean we have to, like, rain on other people's parade because I personally think fundraising is so much harder than training. Like, if you told
It's
me to
hard.
go raise $3,000 right now, I might get 10. like, it is such a difficult thing to do, and it's also, like, great for other people, which, like, we
I'll
love
go a different
that.
direction with this. I have known of very wealthy individuals who money is not a resource constraint at all, and they're
They
able
don't
to
raise
get
it.
bibs at the last second, or maybe they pay for it, maybe they have a network that just pours out, these 15K, these 25K bibs. They still have to run a marathon off of not much training, and they suffer through, and I'm just like, hat tip to you, man. Like, I've heard these stories year and time again, because New York City is such a concentration of wealth that people, will be like, hey, when is that race? I run a little bit. I'm a millionaire. I want to do it next week. And you're like, cool, man, rock on. And
I mean, 20K to your favorite
they,
charity, let's go.
yeah, like the
I do
charity
think there's a lot
benefits,
of
the
people that
guy
do that.
suffers, and then it's seen. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I I'm still like thinking about this like hard work thing because I was actually picturing myself, will I ever run a marathon again? And I was like picturing
Oh,
myself out here, training for a marathon and thinking about what I used to run. And I'm going to tell you something. If I were to go train for a marathon and run 340 right now, I
okay.
can tell you that that work would be just as hard, if not harder than when I ran 311,
Oh, like getting
because
from where you are to that.
whew, yeah, and
Yeah.
just like, I mean, to me right now, thinking about running 26 miles at an 8-minute mile, like I can't even wrap my head around that, And so, um, I just going back to that woman's take, it's just like, it's almost like the word I keep coming up is like ignorant, like just the not knowing, like you don't know what you're talking about when you're speaking for how hard someone else is working. I mean, I have envisioned the tears that will come down my face if I ever get to run a
Oh.
marathon again, like, and it'll be 30 minutes slower than my best time the next time I do it. And that's okay. But like, um, the work will be 10 times harder. I know it will be. So yeah. Anyway, thinking
Lindsay,
about those
you're going to
finish
do
line
it
tears.
one way or another. I don't actually care about the time all that much. I went out on
Not
a
at all.
trail hike run on Saturday. I was out there for 3 hours and 45 minutes. And like, you could have punched me in the
Mm,
face and I would have just been like, whatever, man.
I
I'm in
did
such a
it.
good mood. Like,
Oh, I
life is
miss that
amazing.
feeling, those
Yeah.
endorphins.
It's very
There's just
intoxicating.
nothing like it. I try to be an active person. I'm swimming my laps, but I'm telling you, it's not the same.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people out there in the running world, and they're going to have all sorts of emotions. I would encourage us as a relay community to scroll past the less well-informed takes on the internet and just go like, okay, here we go.
But
Um,
also the people that are not being kind in response, like in an aggressive way, y'all need to go check
oh yeah,
yourselves
sorry.
too. Like both sides
Yeah.
of this conversation, because I'm like, come on, man. Come on.
I don't want to do weird internet deep dive analysis too much other than
No, we can
the
move
way
on.
Twitter used to work with the running world in like a 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 ish. There felt like there was a little bit of an identity layer to it. So when people said stuff, then other people would be like, hey man, like, good job. There was some consequences, whereas now I feel like with algorithmic everything, you've never seen this person before. Like you don't
Right.
you
Just a random.
they're you don't follow them. You're seeing their stuff because the internet served it to you. And so there's just this like collapsing. There's no like, hey, that's my neighbor, or I've seen that guy before, and I have some context of I've seen that she was trying to break three. And maybe you follow someone and then they break three, and then you're like, congrats. And then she posts that she's disappointed, and you're like, hey, I know this was meant a lot to you. But in
Mm,
the way the internet works now, you're just like, never
just
seen
a
this person.
random. It's a faceless
And then
person almost.
yeah, and then it just becomes like so hateful so fast.
Well, that's the
I mean,
thing
and I see
about
it all the time because I'll post stuff and people are like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Have you ever run a marathon before? And I'm like, wow, this is a really weird
But
internet.
that's, like,
Like,
a good take if you're under Peter's posts.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
Erica
who is this
co-signs
guy?
anything like that. Who is this guy?
Well,
What a schmo.
but now you have so many more characters and people do like like books.
Yeah,
They do like 1 of
that's
7, 2 of 7, 3. Because I remember back in the day on like Twitter, you had like 40 characters to get spit out whatever you wanted to spit out. And it's like there was no room for any nuance in anything you said because you had to get your take in that very short, you know, piece. But now
yeah.
people are writing books on Threads, so you can do every asterisk or,
Erica, you're
side.
welcome to tell us how much time and space in the universe there should be left allowed for the women's half marathon championship last week in Atlanta. But we recorded on a Tuesday, and I, as a general rule, would think if you're recording 48 to 60 hours after the race, like the facts are probably available.
Mm-hmm.
But then after we recorded,
Mm-hmm.
it came to light that there had been a officer hit by a vehicle before your race went off, or
Kind of like
there's a whole
during, honestly.
during, yeah. And then, so my best understanding is due to that person being hit, who's okay, then some of the resources were slightly stretched thin. Certainly, someone was in the right spot to tell the 3 Hoka besties, the men who won the podium, that they should go straight. But then it sounds as though that I can't tell them how much let's just say at the track last week on Wednesday morning, there was some different believing on whether this was impacted the race or didn't impact the race.
I mean, it directly impacted the women's race in that, like, the lead vehicle or the, like, officer escort with the lead women turned off to respond to that officer down call. It
Okay.
didn't sound like the one that was with the men had responded because it might not have, like, happened yet, like,
Oh,
timing-wise.
gotcha,
Like,
gotcha.
Atlanta Track Club does have, like, a very good breakdown of, like, timestamp, what are the events as we know, like, how, like, these things happened or whatever. Um, but the gist of it was that, like, the officer with the women was responding to that officer down call because it was, like, a block or 2 away. And the cones
Okay.
for the women had been moved. Instead of directing them straight across the pedestrian bridge, they had been left open and allowing that turn because they were letting emergency vehicles through to also go to that call. So, like, it was coned off differently by the time the lead women passed, and the cones had not been placed
That makes
back.
sense.
So there's just, like, a lot of confusion going on and, like, just not well
Mm.
communicated and just, like, confusing for everybody, but we did get the update that Atlanta Track Club will pay out those top 3 women as well, which is really cool.
Mhm.
USATF is doing their best. They named a secondary podium, so Jess McLean gets another national title. They all get their racing circuit points, and it sounds promising. Fingers crossed. We'll still have to wait a couple months to
Yeah.
see how the, like, team shakes out, but, like, for now, it at least seems like they've done the best that they could to, like, honor what would have been the top 3, and, like, everyone seems to be in, like, at least a much better place than they were a week ago, so that's a positive update.
I read through their statements and I was still confused about world champs team selection.
Yeah.
Am I right to still be confused, or is there like
Yes.
some
Well,
sort of
be confused in the sense that it's not finalized.
what is it leaning towards looking like?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Cuz I was like cuz okay, my question is like if the top people, can't go or whatever, it goes down the line like 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th or whatever.
No.
No.
The way the
Okay.
USATF criterion was written was that it was top 3, and then they would go as far down as 5th, but they would
Okay.
not go any further, which is why it was such an issue that, like, when they
Yeah.
got directed off course, they ended up finishing, like, 9th, 12th, and 13th. Because
Okay.
even if those, like, top 5 women or top 3 declined, those 3 would
It would
still
go to
not get a
4th and
spot.
5th.
Because they, quote, unquote, "had not qualified for the team."
Okay.
But so they're trying to figure out how to, like, because all the women who, like,
Here,
quote, unquote, "would have
'Cause
made
the
the
next
team
thing
right
was
now," said they wouldn't go.
this is where on relay I get very hesitant to like do a quasi Sidious mag analysis, which is like, can we explain the ranking points and how by creating a second podium, then I guess maybe Edna Kurgat gets some points that would
like
elevate to a point where could be a qualifier, because that's the issue, is you can end up with like the federation says we want this woman to go, and WADA says like World Athletics
Your
says,
world
like,
ranking has to be a certain number.
yeah, you're not, but this person didn't perform that well, and you're like, well, you got to understand, and then
Because there's
you're in
also
the
like a
gray area.
boost in points for races that are labeled as national championships. So like those top 3
Mhm.
spots were worth quite a bit of points
So
with regards to your
and
half marathon ranking.
since they're getting the second podium, they're getting those points.
They should,
We hope.
but
okay.
we don't know yet. Is
Okay.
like
Okay.
Erica,
God.
you don't have to comment on this because you're a professional athlete, but I was giving a friend a hard time, and I was like, well, is Brooks going to make Jess right? Like, she was going to win that title. And this person was like, yes, it's my understanding that she has been awarded prize money as though she won the national championship. And I was like,
Because like
okay,
if
that's
it's in your
awesome.
contract,
That should be celebrated. And then
I
they
mean,
were like,
I assumed that
yeah, but
would
it's
have
messy.
happened if it's in
and
her contract because they literally posted our champion the day of the race. Like, I don't think it was
Okay,
ever
good.
a question.
Too controversial. Okay, that's good.
I love
Yeah, there we
Erica's
go.
face when Peter's like, Erica, you don't have to comment. And I'm going to go
Well, I
off
don't
on
know,
this
like-
anyway.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be like a weird
She's
question
like,
or like,
what
Lindsay,
is he
you asked
gonna
me things that I
say?
wouldn't know. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
no.
Erica,
Oh,
what
yeah,
is
no.
WADA thinking? Like, I don't know.
I
Well,
don't know. No.
but also that Brooks is also your sponsor too. So you when you
Yeah.
asked that question, you were like thinking, am I
It was a
asking
tongue
this
in
and is
cheek.
she not allowed
It's
to
all
say
good.
anything?
That's not most controversial.
I mean, all I know is that they posted she is our champion the day of the race.
She's our champion.
And like they've always been very supportive of everyone. So that's all I
all
got.
good things to say about Brooks.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, good stuff. Well, I feel like we've really worked out some of the demons of the running world. If everyone's on here and they're feeling better, it's like a little yoga version.
Okay,
A version of yoga.
let me just make this about me a little bit. I need I need some direction for I'll have another, you guys, and I have an idea.
Oh,
Well, I'm going to continue to have on the pros on Friday episodes. You know what I mean? I'm really into Love is Blind though. Okay.
oh.
This is where we're missing Laura Thweet because do you watch Love is Blind, Erica?
I used to, but they lost me the last couple of seasons because like all of the couples were just terrible and they're like getting worse. And also
Well,
we
wait a
know
minute.
love is not blind, so it's like it's literally a waste of time. And it's
Wait a
like not
second.
that
Hold on.
fun anymore.
Wait, Erica, there's a couple on this season that I, along with the rest of the world, is obsessed with, and they might have proven it to be true.
Who?
So Vic and Christine. Okay. I'm just telling you, this couple, I'm obsessed with them.
I haven't seen
You're trying to
them,
reel
so
her
it's
back
not
in.
important.
Yeah. So anyway, let me circle back to where I was going with this. What if I did a series with these reality people who run marathons? Like I've had Matt James on the podcast. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Chelsea and Kwame are like actual like Brooks partners.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
They did like a
fun.
whole campaign for us in the fall, and it was really cool.
Oh, fun. Well, and they're like legendary in the Love is Blind
because they're actually
space.
Still married.
Yeah.
And they live in
they're one of
Seattle, which
few.
is also super helpful.
That makes a lot of sense. But you also, I noticed Jimmy from last season.
No.
Maybe not, maybe 2 seasons ago. He's running marathons now.
I hate him.
Well, he's annoying, but I'm just saying there are people.
I mean, if you had him on the
space.
pod, I would block your podcast.
Yeah.
Lindsay, you have to protect the brand.
But I thought it would be fun to do like a reality TV
Are you okay with villains?
Well, yeah, what about a hate listen? I definitely hate listened to podcasts before.
Like, I'm not going to have the tool that just broke up with Jessica because he said she didn't do Pilates every day. I'm not going to have him on.
Jimmy's not any better. That's why I'm so confused.
Wait, I only mentioned him because he popped up on my Instagram because I'm being infiltrated with Love is Blind content because the internet knows I'm watching Love is Blind. So I'm bringing him up because I just saw that he was running. So he would be on the very bottom of the list. But if he's running, like these people finish their series and they get this glow up and then they're like, I got to work out because I got to look good. You know, I'm an influencer now.
I do think if you're good at asking questions, I'm not going to, that's super pedantic. But like, if you were willing to be frame it as like there is some, I want to ask you, there is some controversy around fill in the
You being
blank.
an
Then you
asshole
would have,
because, yeah.
well, yeah, that's a little more personal. I was thinking like if you interviewed, for instance, some of like the women who, got a lot of attention because they started the New York City Marathon before everyone else and were running down with their phones.
Who
There
were
were
those
some people who
people?
had
Those
feelings.
weren't reality stars, though, were they?
They
Those
were
were
not.
just
No, they
There
were.
are
influencers.
Well,
content
this is a good
creators.
question.
There's like a program for it.
Everything is TV now, Lindsay. Like if you have X number of followers and you're documenting the reality of your life, like
Well, it's like when Matt James ran it with Shalane Flanagan, and they ran it with like MasterCard or something. And
all those people
and
do it
Alexi
through
pops it.
MasterCard.
Yeah, they ran it way ahead of time. Okay, all right, Erica, I won't have Jimmy on.
I mean, you can do what you want. I'm just saying it's bad for the brand.
There's a lot of
I'll have another.
Tasha, she's run a marathon, and then we've got Zach Clark. There's a good list. I mean, I have to do some investigating, but could I do a 6-part series on these people?
I like this,
Peter,
Lindsay.
for the
I don't pay
record,
attention.
Lindsay said she would talk to Jimmy, but not the guy who told the girl he like can't be with her this season because she doesn't go to Pilates every day. Jimmy had one of the worst reactions I've ever seen during the reveal because his love, quote unquote, told him that she looked like Megan Fox.
Well, she
and
shouldn't
when
have told
he
him that,
saw
first of
her
all.
in person, I have never seen a worse face on of horror and shock and like borderline disgust when you're getting engaged.
But wait a minute. Why did she tell him? I mean, I see the similarities a little bit in her face, but like you can't tell someone that you look like Megan Fox.
But
I've never seen anyone on the face of the earth that looks like Megan Fox.
Position to be making those kind of reactions to anybody.
I mean, I agree. And she she did mislead him a little bit. She did.
You're saying this show is not fully based in truth and reality? That people are not grounded in their sense of self-perception?
Trust me, though, when I tell you this, Erica, this guy that I'm talking about this season, 10 times worse than Jimmy. I'm telling you.
Oh, I've seen the highlights on TikTok. I just refuse to watch the actual show. I'm not giving them the viewership.
Okay. All right. But
she might give you a hate listen if you brought him on.
I will.
We could find out later.
I gotta tell you, it's your fault, Peter, that I listened to Love is Kimes, Mina Kimes' podcast, where she breaks down Love is Blind because...
Wait, that's really funny.
It's so good. He sent it to me a long time ago when Laura Thweet and I were like going off about Love is Blind. And now you're wasting so much of my time because now not only am I watching the show, I'm listening to it.
We should like analyze at a future date like how Mina, she has like a very modern skill set of, sure, she's out there as a woman making
on ESPN.
On ESPN making calls about football. So she's well versed in hate coming her way.
Oh yeah.
But she doesn't just present this like front of like, I don't let it bother me at all. She both like dips into playing with it. I don't follow that podcast. I sent it to you when I came across it because I like her style. She was like, for all the haters who say I have nothing, to weigh in on about the NFL, and then she steps away and she's just been placing her Emmy on the shelf. And you're
I saw that.
Oh,
that was
sorry.
Good.
Oops.
That was really good.
So it's like she's based in reality, and she knows how to like utilize it while still not letting it get to her too much.
No, that was a really good reel that she did. Well, her co-host for the Love is Kimes podcast is also really funny, and their banter is just, they like break it down. It's, if you're gonna watch the show, you got to listen to the podcast. It's really good. Anyway, the reunion's on Wednesday, so noted. Okay, so Erica's take is that I can do this series as long as Jimmy's not included.
Or just like text the group chat before you finalize your guests so we can make sure you're not literally tanking your own show by like turning it into traitors.
Okay.
Risk getting canceled. That's really funny.
All right.
But speaking of viewership, or like me trying to be mindful of my viewership, I don't want to... I'm like stopping shy of apologizing for talking so much about Fred Kerley last week.
Oh dear.
Like immediately after that, now he gets like an actual 2-year ban, but like it's one of those like stupid ones that other people have
Yeah.
gotten. Like, I'm pretty sure Christian Coleman had it years ago, but it's for whereabouts failures, which are like, they never fail the drug test, but also they missed 3 tests for whereabouts. And like, when I read like the Sidious recap of his 3 missed tests, I was just getting more and more angry and disappointed because they were comically stupid.
Oh,
Like the
Yeah.
first one,
no.
you have 1 hour a day where you were supposed to be where you say you're going to be. And this man was in Jamaica instead of Florida. Like, that's not like, oh no, I'm like Christian Coleman out Christmas shopping and like forgot to like answer my phone. It's like, this man left the country and didn't update his whereabouts. That's tough. Then like the second one, it was also something weird, but he didn't contest it, so that even he just like took the L on that one because he was kind of trying to argue the other 2, which is why he didn't think he was going to get a ban. But then the third one, he was already sitting on 2 failures, which is like, if you get 1 more, they're going to ban you. And then they like found him, but he didn't answer the door. They were like knocking on the door for a while. They were calling him for a while. And like, there's an hour from when you're contacted to like when they have to give up and call it a miss. And he just like did not respond to them during that hour, and then texted the number that called him and was like, who's this? Which is honestly, as a villain, incredible work.
Yeah.
No notes. Who this is crazy.
Who this? Maybe enter it in your phone next time.
But then there was like a comment somewhere in there that was like, he said even if he quote unquote had like heard the knocking, he still wouldn't have answered the door, which you also can't do that. Like, you have to answer the door and let them in. So yeah, he is officially serving a 2-year ban now. He ran a hand time 9.6, and he's opening up his season in May. So the villain saga continues, and I will do my best
Did you guys
to
see this?
only watch it indirectly. I was going to get to that.
Okay, go.
Oh my
In response to the news of his ban being posted, he posted an AI image of himself in a Team USA kit, literally punching the AIU and WADA and stepping on USADA, who are wearing like SWAT gear, which like, why would a track athlete be beating up the SWAT team? But again, villain behavior, top tier.
Oh dear.
Kind of bad for the sport, but like for pure entertainment purposes, incredible work. So like that's where we're at. But I was like reading about his whereabouts failures while I literally got tested at 5 a.m. Which like
5 a.m.
I set my window to 5 a.m. because I know for a fact I'll always be home. Because why would I not be home at 5? The only problem.
Oh, you set your own window.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not like they arbitrarily tell you what your window is. Like, you set it yourself, which is why it's like a little absurd to like complain about it that much. So like I was also told to set mine that early by like Molly and like other people, because they're like, dude, you're always gonna be home. Like, it makes sense. And you're right. I'm always sleeping at 5 a.m. unless I'm traveling. But
wait, does the doorbell ring, or do you get a call? Because I have do not disturb on.
Depends.
I know.
And I also have do not disturb on, but I have it turned off at 5 a.m. But the first call came in at 4:59. I did not hear that shit, but they called back immediately, and my phone was ringing. So then I was like, woke up, flipped my phone over, saw the number, and was like, hello, like, downstairs. I was like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the only thing that would make me nervous about so early is like, what if I didn't wake up or something?
Yeah, I mean, one, you have like a little bit of like a buffer to like wake up and, you know, answer the phone. But also like, I've never been one to like sleep through alarms or like my phone ringing. So I'm not like super worried about it. I'm more worried about not being home when I said I was going to be home.
Right.
But I've also
and
never been tested.
Window that you give them?
Yeah. I've also never been tested at 5 a.m. before. So that was crazy.
Oh, like when
And
Christian had like his window
Erica?
at 6 to 7 p.m. You're like, where you think
That's
you know
a hard
where you're gonna be?
Well, that's like you're out with friends, you're out to dinner, like that's kind of crazy. But my window is 5 to 6, so like that's
okay.
The 1 hour a day I promise I'll be at home unless like otherwise stated.
Okay.
Well, I would watch a video following the drug tester protocol maker, you know, at when their alarm goes off at 3:30 because they're like, well, I gotta get over there. Like, I mean, this is a system that
I
is
mean,
not by any
my
means
window is at 5
infallible, but
a.m.,
also
but
like
this is the first time
hard
they've ever
work.
come that early. Like, even though
Okay.
I said I'll be home at
Oh.
5 a.m., they've come at 1:30 and 3:30 p.m.
So
Which is
that's
like,
not your
I'm glad I'm
window, but they
home.
can still come at that time. You have an hour to get to your house or whatever.
Yeah. You don't like literally
Okay.
have to be home,
Ooh.
but you have to be able to meet them within an hour of them contacting you.
Okay. So you could be like,
But what if you come
let's
at 3
meet.
p.m. and you're like, hey, I went to New York City for the day?
I should
You
have
got to
put that
tell
in my
him.
profile.
Yeah, you put it on your, you log it. If you leave the town, you log it. We talked about this last time. Don't you remember?
I mean, I know, but I thought that was for the 1 hour, not
No,
for the
if
other
you're more than 1 hour
23.
away from like your general home base,
Where you live.
you
Oh,
have to
okay.
tell them like I'm traveling. I'm like for me, like I'm in Boston, I'm in New York, and like
Yeah.
you should let them know if you cannot
Lindsay
meet
and I
them
were
in
going
an
to go
hour.
pro, but this was like too many logistics for our mindset. So we chose not to go pro.
Oh, I would have to have someone managing that for me. I would totally
Yeah.
screw it up.
Emma would be your
Yeah, I'd feel like
editor
you gotta
and
manage this.
whereabouts official.
I mean, you're not
Wait,
like more than an hour away from home as often as you
true.
think you would be.
No,
True.
that's
That's fair.
true. It's just the traveling. Yeah, for sure. So if you're in Boston, they could just be like, okay, cool. We're
They can
showing up in
come to
Boston.
Boston, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. Somebody wrap us up here. We got to go, guys.
Wait, friends, I wanted to tell you about last week on Relay. I talked about how I had watched Heated Rivalry and I had enjoyed it. And then shortly after we recorded, my algorithm went ham and I was just being served. It may have rivaled or exceeded the experience. The positive experience of the show was just the esoteric, totally wild assortment of videos that I was served of like bars celebrating for like the climactic scenes, to deep dives with the director about cinematic choices, to like friends breaking down like emotionally their experience. I was saving a lot of them because I'm like, I would never know how to find this post ever again. Like it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with any. So it was glorious. I think it's tapering as the algorithm, the things that rule our
Sees that
lives.
you're moving on.
So like he's ready to move on. But
This sounds
yeah, I
better
highly
than
recommend.
my Love is Blind videos I keep getting served. Your experience sounds better. Although mine are like just people totally roasting the cast members, and it is pretty funny.
That sounds fun. I wanted to tell everyone, I posted on Instagram. This was my thing that I took in, my entertainment that I experienced this week. Was I listened to Molly Seidel with Alexi Pappas on the Mentor Buffet podcast. She is a wonderful conversation between friends, and Molly, I would say, is a very engaging person who's been on a lot of podcasts for a lot of years and is an interesting character. So she always tells interesting stories. So as someone who's listened to a lot of her interviews, as she's a little bit more mature, a little bit older, a little bit more reflective, it actually fills in like what she was going, because, she rose to stardom and basically says, I hadn't done any like the trying and failing in the marathon to get to that height. So the moment it started to go, I hit a bumpy road, I came crashing down. I hadn't like really built up the internal and external like resources to rise to those heights, which I thought was a fair internal critique and also assessment. So it's definitely worth listening to.
That's really interesting to me as someone who's been interviewing these pros for like 10 years, is hearing how certain athletes evolve, just like even in just their skills of conversation and these like long form podcasts. Because I don't know, I mean, being on a long form podcast when you're like 22 years old, that's a lot to ask. Like you're being asked tough questions and maybe you don't have that much to say. You're 22, So I do think as people age, their interviews tend to get a little bit more enjoyable to listen to just because they have more life experience, truly.
Huh. Interesting.
Okay. Do you guys want to hear the books I'm reading?
Plural?
The books.
Sure. I know.
So there's 4.
What?
Does anybody read Frida McFadden books? They're so good.
Yes.
I think you would move. You keep going.
Okay, you keep going, and then you tell me how to read. I'll keep going. Dear Debbie, that's her. I don't know if it's a new book of hers, but I picked that up when I was in Napa. I always love her books because they're just like a fast read I can always have on the side. And Debbie be crazy. Okay, Debbie is crazy. I'm about halfway through. I'm reading. That's my like sauna waiting in line like throughout the day read. Okay, that's when I read that book. In the
Okay,
morning,
4
I'm reading
books. Okay.
You Are Here Now. You Are Here, Discovering the Magic of the Present Moment. This is a book by a Buddhist monk. That is just my like Zen read. I've been getting through How to Tell a Story for a long time now, and it's just not fun to read, but I'm hoping it helps with my public speaking. And
Okay.
then with my boys, we were at a standstill and I didn't have anything for them that sounded interesting. So I picked up Tiana Bartoletta's book, Survive in Advance, which I bought a long time ago. And I'm reading that with them. I will say there have been some parts at the beginning that I've had to filter a little bit because there's just some like a couple stories about assault at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure I'm like not reading it to them, but like reading it to them at a level that is appropriate. But I'm really excited to read her book to them because I love to read books about sports to the boys, and I love to read a book about a woman in sport to the boys. So, yeah, I always it's fun because, I'm trying to raise boys that appreciate women in sport. We went to a Fever game last summer, and that was really fun. But anyway, I just hope that I think they'll learn a lot from her life and experience, and she's a badass. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping it moves away from the relationship stuff to more athletic stuff, just because I'm getting a little bit uncomfortable reading it to them. But also I think it's helping me teach them this is how we
You
treat
might have to
women.
read ahead
Yeah.
and then read.
Scope
Well,
it
I
out.
take breaks.
Knowledgeable.
Like I do. I take breaks and then I'll like skim a paragraph and I'll be like, I don't need to read this paragraph. I can wrap up this part of the story by just getting to this part, and they can still see the point that like she was treated in a bad way and it's not okay without like going into the details.
Sure.
But anyway, those are the 4, Peter, the 4 books I'm reading.
Usually you flex on us. This is like a full body slam, but okay.
Yeah.
But did you
thank
have an opinion
for
though,
sharing
about that? Yeah, I feel like you were opinionated about how to read books better.
No, I'm not going to weigh in.
Okay, Erica. How many books are you reading?
Anything fun?
I do have 2, but that's not super fun. I would say the most fun thing I've ingested this week was this. I've been saving it all day.
Oh.
If you guys don't follow Lindsay on Instagram and also hated that sound, you're welcome. She made a very angry reel about that. And my first thought was like, oh, but it's so fun. I don't do it,
So
but
fun.
I
Here
think
we
it's
go.
really funny every time. And I loved seeing how many of your comments were like, yes, cancel those people. I scroll immediately. I'm like, I like the sound personally. I do it to myself when I'm just in my home because I think it's really funny. And I like sounds like that.
Wait, that's so funny. I have to do an ad on my Instagram for Ketone IQ. And one of the girls in my network was like, you should just do an ad where you're tapping on the bottle.
Yeah.
Because
you might have to put some fake nails on though, because you need like the nails make the best sound.
Yeah, Erica, you did a great job. Maybe, Lindsay, you don't appreciate how fun it is because you don't have those long nails.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe I'm just like too old. I don't know.
You haven't found the right sound yet. Try different surfaces. Glass is cool. Aluminum is like hit or miss. Wood is nice. But anyways, that. And then on Peter's feed, because I'm just like stalking my co-hosts. I'm pretty sure it was your feed because I was like, where did this come from? It might have been on Threads, but that story about the Kentucky coach was infuriating. And
but it's like
gross.
It's so infuriating, and everyone should go read it. We should post. I think of it as like So the coach for Kentucky is now banned. How do you even summarize it? But I think in a great way, it's for a collective pattern of bad behavior that many women said, like, "This is not all right, and did he do that to you, and did he do that to you?" 'Cause it feels like I should not be be the
But,
one
like,
telling this
all of
story, but,
those,
like
like, stories, it's, like, unfortunate that they're all so similar and it, like, goes on for so long because people aren't, like, sharing information. Because it's not like they, like, have an
Yeah,
NDA on their team where they can't talk, it's just, like, you're experiencing this, like, really strange behavior from this guy who's 20 to 30 years older than you and in a position of power, and you think it's weird, but also, like, they have so much control over your life and, like, decide so many things for you, so you just kinda, like, let it happen because you don't know what else to do, and you also think, like, you don't know what's happening to other people, and it's just, like, you hate to see it. But what killed
yeah.
me, other than, like, all of the, like, super creepy borderline abusive, if not literally abusive behavior was that he left during his investigation versus like getting fired. So there were no like formal repercussions from the University of Kentucky because he had already left. So they're like, well, he's gone. So like we can't punish him. And it's like,
Hmm.
So
so
everything's
he
good.
got to terrorize these women and then just like
Yeah,
disappear. And we're just going to end there. And it's like, thankfully, he's, like, permanently banned now, but, like, are you kidding me? Yeah, like, for the record, you cannot text your student athletes about sex. You cannot text your student athletes asking for pictures, asking to see them. You cannot visit them after hours. You cannot go to them because you had a bad day and ask for a hug. Like, none of that is appropriate. None of that is okay. You cannot give them very passionate hugs because you're proud of their performance and then justify it by saying you were proud. Like, that's fucking weird. And if they
So
yes,
tell you
weird.
and
they're
it needs
uncomfortable, if they don't text you
more
back,
sunlight.
leave them
Yes,
alone. That's what got me, was he was, like, texting a few of these girls constantly and, like, very inappropriately, and then when they wouldn't respond, he would, like, triple, quadruple,
yeah,
continuously text them like, "Oh, you don't wanna talk to me anymore?" Like, "No, you're a 40-year-old man
Oh,
who's supposed to be my coach. I don't wanna, like, have this deeply inappropriate
no.
conversation with you. Like, I'm
wow.
18. Like, what is happening?"
And yet
It was
that type of
I don't
behavior
even
probably
understand.
doesn't get talked about, and they're like, maybe a lot of
like,
self-blame,
dude,
a lot of
you
like,
are
"Well,
in
maybe
your
I brought
40s.
it
This
on."
is this would be bad if
Yeah,
you were the same age. Like, that's what gets
Right.
me. I'm like, if you
Right.
were her teammate and treating her like this, you would be dismissed from the team for harassing your teammate. How is
Yep.
this okay for the coach? And, like, the
yeah,
answer is it's absolutely not. Like, it would be weird if it
not
was your
okay.
cohort. It's super weird that it's your coach.
This is crazy. I haven't even heard this
But I think
story.
that what Peter was saying was, like, a good point of, like, the bad end of that spectrum is so bad that I feel like there are people who are like, "Well, I didn't actually do something that bad, so, like, it's okay." And it's
Hmm.
like, "No,
Mhm.
you're
Nope.
on the
No,
wrong end of that spectrum, it's not okay."
Yep. Doesn't matter where you
I
land on it. Anywhere on it is bad.
Yes. Yeah, because the guy was trying to defend himself saying like, "Oh, well, I only texted them," and it's like, the
Still
content
not
of those
okay.
texts is deeply inappropriate and, like, you did more than just text them. Also,
And just
even if
texting
you
them.
just texted them, you should still be fired because that's not
Right. You
okay.
shouldn't be texting them. You
thankfully,
shouldn't be texting
there's
them at all.
evidence because he did text them, like, like, you're
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, here is the evidence that you just
Are these high
created."
school college girls?
College, yeah.
College.
Jeez.
And it was, like, obviously very bad for, like, the girls on the receiving end of, like, the majority of that treatment, but it was also,
Right.
like, I'm glad the article went over, like, how uncomfortable it was for the girls who weren't, like, directly, targeted by this man because they were like, "Yeah, it was really weird to, like, see him behave like that to our teammates." Like, it created very strange
Mm,
dynamics. It looked really weird, and, like, we felt weird about our own teammates because of it because like, they look like they were getting favoritism, and it's like, in reality, they were being abused, so, like, it's bad for literally everybody there. But, yeah, Peter should
Totally.
repost that article.
I want to make sure we get the college right so we don't throw the wrong person under the bus.
It was University of Kentucky.
yeah, and he had gone to Stanford, and so that's how he
What's his
knows
name?
Haken Devers?
Hank Endeavors. Okay. Is he a
Haken.
married man?
Um, well, he married one of his athletes,
Oh
which I always
no.
find to be a real red flag, even though, yeah, if we're podcasting right now, all I'll say is that gives me a deep sigh when I learn those. I'm like, okay, please. I mean, this is part of the sport for many, many years. So you're like,
It just makes you feel weird
yeah,
when
I
you
mean,
like go to like nationals and you like see all those teams on the start line
And
and
you're
then you see these
wondering
stories like years later and you're like, oh damn, like those girls were like
what was happening.
going through it. And like I was
Yeah.
fortunate enough to have like great coaches and like a not
yeah,
crazy, like super uncomfortable, abusive environment. So it's like we are here, like gal palling, like having a great time, and like someone a few boxes over at cross country nationals is like having the worst time of their lives. And you like don't
Yeah.
know until like years later. And you're like,
Yeah.
why is this happening? Like, I am so
Oof.
sorry that they like had to deal with a human being like that. And like Peter was saying, though,
yeah,
it's not like he was a rando who came out of nowhere. Like, what is in these people's
Jeez.
water?
yeah. That's what you're like.
Why are you
Yeah, I
like
don't know which way to
this?
extrapolate it. I'm not trying to like save it and be like, Buddy's a good guy. I'm like, no, he's a person who has very high functioning ways of showing up that you'd be like, oh, I've met that person before. I have not personally met him, but when I saw his name, I was like, oh shit, because
Like,
I
you know
know
people who
who
know
he is.
him.
Yeah, and like he's
Yeah.
just in the scene.
Yeah.
So that
Wow.
was more unsettling than like, who's this random monster I've never heard of?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's unfortunate. How can we end on a
Yeah, there's
happier note?
how do we end on a
Oh,
happy note?
I
Well,
oh no, Erica's got something. I was gonna say
Well,
I'm about to go to run club. That's always fun.
that is fun. But in positive running news, Peter, don't hate me for not getting the specifics correct, but 3 of the guys who placed top 2 at USA's indoors but didn't have their world standard knocked out their world
oh
standards this
yeah,
weekend. So like
Oh,
that's
cool.
super exciting that like those
yeah.
people who like went 1-2 at like nationals are going to get to represent the US in Poland. So you love
I
to
That's
love
see
very cool.
it.
that. I've got one too. Now, Peter, you have to end with one. I just saw that Emma Bates is pregnant.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's having babies. I mean, like, because I feel like last week, or was it the week before, when we were talking about Emily Infeld being pregnant,
Yep.
and I'm like, okay, Emma Bates, that wasn't on my bingo card. That's exciting. So there's another exciting, and I love Allison Wade in the. I saw it in the Fast Women newsletter. That's where I saw it, and I must
Oh
have
yeah.
just it didn't show up on my
I
algorithm
was going to
didn't
say,
feed
did
it
you
to
not
me.
see the announcement
No, the
video?
little
It was
shoes.
really cute.
There was a
I
Yeah.
little
didn't
shoe
see it
drop.
in real time. No, it's somehow Love is Blind is just clogging up my feed. Um, but Allison, of course, is like Emma Bates is pregnant, and then she's like, made a comment about
She
it
was.
because it's not an Olympic year or something. Just made it really
It's like
dry.
there's a wave of these things occurring. Yeah, I got to
Yep.
hear give a little speech at Wildwood Running, which is a nonprofit
Aw,
that I
Fun.
like
wait,
to
which M?
support.
Emily Infeld.
M. Imfeld, yeah, and she's a great. I was like, man, that was like a mic drop. She gets introduced as like an Olympian who also won the U.S. championship and now is expecting, and you're like,
Dude.
doing a great job. Well done. Yeah.
Oh wait, you guys,
So
I get
happy
to
for
hang
her.
out with Emily in Big Sur. She's coming to Big Sur because
Oh,
her dad is doing Boston to Big Sur.
Oh, fun.
And
okay.
so she's coming to Big Sur to cheer him on and is now kind of like being brought on by their team. And I think I'm doing an interview with her. So I'm like, we're going to get real
There you
used to
go.
these interviews because we just did a live interview in November. So we're just going to
Oh
have to
yeah.
think of some fresh things to talk about. Although it's a new audience,
Well, yeah, the new audience, and she's in a new stage. She posted, I thought that
Totally.
was the cutest little video of her doing 800s with her like slight baby
Tiny
bump
little bump.
sticking out. You're like, wow, you're really rocking. Here we go.
You're so cute. Okay. We ended
Awesome.
with some
Well, we
positivity.
really
Thanks,
we solved
friends.
the internet. We really touched on some topics, and be
Erica
kind,
brought it today,
friends.
too, by the way. Erica brought it
Yes.
today.
It was a
You
big
brought the
weekend.
energy. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, friends.